Exploiting the dead and their loved ones. That's what families the I-Team spoke with feel some senior care communities are doing.
The I-Team's Casey Geraldo found out is perfectly legal.
It's all in the contract, a little clause requiring notice at least a month before moving out of a senior care facility. Without notice, you could be on the hook for that time. We learned it's a pretty common practice, but can someone really give notice of their own death? They're the inevitable last moments of life.
As your mother is passing, to listen to her and talk to Jesus and ask forgiveness, that's tough.
Doris Zanecki passed away on March 15th.
But when somebody dies, you're going through the trauma of the death and all the grieving part.
But just days after their mother died, Alice Zanecki and Lucy Anse were at her apartment.
They told us they won't even show the apartment unless the apartment was vacant. It would have been nice if we had more time to sit back, reflect, mourn.
The sisters say it got even worse when this bill for $1,500 arrived.
And it's just a statement. It's not even like, sorry for your loss. Here's what you still owe us.
Their mother signed a lease on her own for almost $4,000 a month in rent, one that includes a requirement of 60 days notice to leave.
Unfortunately, she left the apartment 37 hours into that month of March, so she didn't really get any of the facilities, the food service or the medication delivery. She lost all of that.
According to this, her family also owed an extra 19 days of rent until the apartment could be rented in April, including meals and medication, because Doris Zanecki didn't give notice of her own death.
I am not the renter. I did not sign the contract.
Zanecki challenged the bill. In response, the company proposed a peaceful resolution, waiving the bill and returning the security deposit. But elder law attorney Carol Wessel says Zanecki's family was never on the hook for that bill to begin with.
To the extent that Doris's estate has any funds in it, the estate could be liable, but the children don't have to come up with a check out of their own checking accounts.
Doris Zanecki's family used everything she had to pay for her funeral, so her family wasn't obligated to pay her last bill.
We just said, Mom's at peace, let it go.
Several years ago, John Johnson found himself in a similar situation. Johnson and his sister didn't question the bill and used the rest of their mother's money to pay that final bill.
I think they could be a little bit more upfront about that.
Johnson feels senior homes should be more clear about what he considers an exit fee.
When you exit, this is going to be the cost.
Some of the people we've talked to have called this exploitation. Would you?
In the legal sense, no. In the emotional sense and the human interaction, I would say yes.
Both he and Zanecki say it's a heavy weight to bear on top of losing a parent.
I think it's become the finality of everything, the last of the bills.
Johnson says he'll make sure his family is prepared for that finality whenever it comes.
You need to have this money set aside so that you can pay whatever it costs when we leave.
Zanecki called her state representative, Dan Reamer. He tells us even if this is legal, it may not be ethical, and he's looking into changing the law. If you're looking at signing an agreement, Wessel says there are some red flags to look out for, including mandatory arbitration, which requires any issues to go through a mediator instead of going to court. She also warns about signing something that obligates a third party, like family or caregivers, to pay for the senior's care out of their pocket if something should happen. Carol and Steve, back to you.